Let's talk, just you and me. Because I can tell something in your gut is whispering that something's off. She's texting differently. She's replying slower. Her tone doesn't feel the same anymore. Now, I know what you're thinking. Maybe she's just busy. Maybe I'm overreacting. But listen, your phone never lies. And once you learn how to read her texting patterns, you'll start to see things you can't unsee. These are the 3 subtle texting patterns that reveal when a woman is quietly slipping away, or worse, when she's already seeing someone else. I'm Coach Jane, and my goal isn't to make you paranoid. It's to help you see truth, where confusion used to live. If you've ever been ghosted, confused, or lied to through a screen, hit that like button. You're not alone, and this community is built for men who want clarity, not chaos. Now, let's begin. 1. Delayed replies that don't make sense. You've probably noticed this before. At the start, she used to reply fast. Maybe even instantly. You'd text, and she'd light up your screen. But now, something's changed. You send a message in the morning, and she doesn't reply till late at night, with something short like, "Sorry, I was tired," or "Been busy all day." Now, don't get me wrong, people get busy. Life happens. But here's the rule I teach my clients. Patterns don't lie, people do. When delays happen occasionally, that's normal. But when they become predictable, when every text is suddenly missed for hours, yet she's active online, posting stories, liking photos, or chatting with others, that's not busyness. That's emotional distance. And that's where you, as a man, have to stop making excuses. Because when a woman is emotionally checked out, her texting reflects it before her words ever will. It's the digital version of her pulling her hand away during a hug. Subtle, but powerful. You deserve someone who's excited to hear from you, not someone who makes you feel like a burden on her notifications. If you've seen this change, drop a comment below with a simple "I've noticed it." You'll be surprised how many men are in the same situation. Now, the second texting pattern is even more subtle, and honestly, it's the one most men never catch until it's too late. Keep watching because this one hides in plain sight. 2. Vague texts that evade real connection. Let's say you text her, "How was your day?" And she says, "It was okay." Or you ask, "What did you get up to?" She replies, "Nothing much." Before, she used to tell stories, details, emotions, laughter. Now, her replies are flat, dry, and distant. It's not that she doesn't know what to say. It's that she doesn't want to say too much. Because deep down, she's guarding another conversation. One that isn't with you. When a woman starts giving half answers, she's not losing her ability to communicate, she's redirecting her emotional energy elsewhere. That's why I tell men all the time, pay attention not to what she says, but what she used to say and no longer does. If her messages start feeling like small talk instead of connection, her heart might already be elsewhere. Now, don't go confronting her yet. You need all 3 signs to see the full picture. Because the third texting pattern, the one with her emojis and phone secrecy, is the dead giveaway most men overlook completely. So stay right here. In the next part, I'll break that one down, and once you hear it, you'll never see texting the same way again. You've probably noticed this shift too, even if you didn't put words to it. She still texts you, but something about those texts feels different. Not just what she says, but how she says it. That's where the third texting pattern quietly sneaks in, the one that's hardest to deny once you see it. Her emotional tone changes through her emojis, punctuation, and rhythm. When a woman is connected to you, her messages carry warmth, soft laughter, playful emojis, a flow that feels alive. But when she's seeing someone else, it's like the color drains out of the chat. You'll see fewer hearts, fewer exclamation marks, more dots, shorter answers. Sometimes she'll even stop using your nickname, the one that used to melt your heart, every time she said it. It's not because she suddenly hates emojis. It's because her emotions have found a new direction. People underestimate how emotional energy leaves fingerprints in communication. The emojis, the tone, the rhythm, they're all reflections of where her heart is focusing. And here's something most men don't realize. Women often mirror emotional language with the person they're most invested in. So if she's suddenly using new emojis she never used with you before, or her texting style feels different, chances are she's syncing emotionally with someone new. Now, I don't say that to make you spiral. I say it so you can stop chasing confusion. Because the hardest thing about emotional betrayal isn't the act itself, it's the slow fading before it happens. And that brings us to the most revealing behavior of all. 3. Changed emoji patterns and sudden secrecy around her phone. The sudden privacy around her phone. You used to see her scrolling beside you. She'd laugh, show you a meme, even ask your opinion on a message. Now, her phone is always face down. Notifications are turned off. And if it rings, she suddenly finds a reason to leave the room. That's not privacy. That's hidden activity disguised as boundaries. And here's the subtle part. She'll often overcompensate. She might suddenly talk about needing space or wanting digital privacy. She'll use language that sounds self-aware, maybe even spiritual, but really, it's distance with a code of reason. Now listen, I'm all for healthy boundaries. But when love turns into secrecy, that's not a boundary. It's a barrier. You deserve transparency, not mystery. And if she's building digital walls, you're not being respected. You're being slowly written out of her world. I've sat with too many men who said the same words. Jane, I didn't want to seem insecure. So they stayed quiet while the woman drifted further away, one unread message at a time. You don't need to explode or accuse. You need to observe and accept what her actions are already saying. Because the truth is this, a woman who values you doesn't hide her world. She invites you into it. She doesn't protect her phone like a secret diary. She knows transparency doesn't threaten love, it strengthens it. But once she starts locking her digital doors, it's not about protecting herself. It's about protecting someone else. So here's what I want you to do. Before you confront her, take a deep breath. Go through your recent chats. Don't read the words. Read the patterns. How long does she take to reply? What does her tone feel like? When did the emojis change? When did she stop using your name the same way? The truth isn't in the text. It's in the rhythm between them. And if your gut says something's off, trust it. Not from anger, but from awareness. If this conversation hits home, hit that like button and tell me in the comments, I've felt this change. You'll see how many men silently understand exactly what you're living through right now. Stay with me, because in part 3, I'll show you how to respond with strength, not fear. Because the goal isn't just to catch dishonesty, it's to reclaim your peace and protect your emotional power in the digital age. Keep watching. By now, you've probably started connecting the dots. You've seen the delayed replies, the vague answers, the emotional tone that no longer sounds like her. You've noticed the subtle secrecy around her phone. And somewhere deep down, you already know what's happening. I want you to take a breath here. Because this is the moment most men make the biggest mistake. They confront her in anger. They demand answers, screenshots, or confessions. And what that does is shift all the emotional power back to her. You don't need to do that. You don't need to fight, chase, or prove anything. When a woman's energy has left the relationship, confrontation doesn't bring her back. It only makes her defensive. What you need instead is clarity, calm, emotional clarity. Because the truth isn't something you force. It's something you let reveal itself. When you stop reacting and start observing, everything becomes visible. You'll notice the energy behind her words. You'll feel how her tone changes when you ask simple questions. You'll sense how her kindness becomes politeness. That's emotional distance showing itself through a digital screen. Now, I know it hurts. You invested your time, your loyalty, your love. You built a bond, and you believed she was doing the same. So realizing that her attention might have shifted feels like a punch to the chest. But here's something I want you to remember. Her behavior is not a reflection of your worth. It's a reflection of her choices. A woman who respects love doesn't divide it between two people. And a man who respects himself doesn't beg for the version of her that no longer exists. So instead of chasing her energy, pull your own energy back. Give her space, not as punishment, but as a quiet act of dignity. Stop overtexting. Stop waiting for replies that no longer hold meaning. Silence becomes your power here. Because when you stop feeding the emotional loop, you break the cycle. You stop being the man who waits for crumbs and start becoming the man who values his peace. Now, I'm not saying give up on her instantly. Sometimes, people wake up when they realize they're about to lose something real. But your role is not to convince her. Your role is to stay grounded, observant, and calm enough to see the truth for what it is. If she's loyal, her actions will show it. If she's not, her silence will say everything. Either way, you win because you stayed in control of your emotions. There's a difference between reacting and responding. Reacting comes from fear. Responding comes from self-respect. So, respond like a man who knows his value. Respond with stillness, not noise. Let her wonder why you're suddenly so centered. That's when the power shifts, not from manipulation, but from self-mastery. When you reach that level of emotional awareness, you start to attract honesty. You begin to see who's truly for you and who's just filling space. And once you've seen that, you can never unsee it. So, if this conversation opened your eyes, take a second to like this video. It helps more men find this space, a place for calm clarity, not bitterness. And in the comments, share one thing you've realized about texting patterns or emotional distance. Not for gossip, but for growth. That's how we build this community, one honest moment at a time. I'm Coach Jane, and I'll leave you with this. When you learn to read behavior instead of excuses, you stop being played, you stop being confused, and you start living with awareness. Keep your peace close, and your self-respect even closer. You deserve communication that feels warm, not distant. You deserve someone whose messages sound like home. Take care of yourself. And remember, your phone might lie about notifications, but energy never does.